This is Tunnel Zen, and you're listening to PodcastNV.
The only podcast that tunes by ear but critiques with perfect pitch. This is PodcastNV. And now here's Bacon, Tim, and Brian.
PodcastNV.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Back at it again.
Doing another one. Hey, welcome to PodcastNV, episode number 309.
Yeah, I think
309.
we're there.
Yeah.
300. That's just crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's always so much fun. We have a special interview today, but before we get to our interview, let's do some listener feedback.
Ooh, my favorite segment.
Okay, the first one is, Dear PodcastNV, your songs of the summer list had me nodding along, but I'm going to push back a little. If Russell Dickerson and Dominic Feek really are in the running, then we've officially entered the low-key lounging era of summer instead of the car stereo blowing out the speakers. Thoughtful. I miss the days when the song of the summer made everybody sweat on the dance floor, like Yeah or Despacito.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Can we get one in 2026 that actually makes you work out harder than Tim's dance floor cardio?
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you very much, Derek. We appreciate your feedback.
That was a lot of fun to dance to, by the way.
Got a lot of good feedback about that.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And just the clip on socials was very cool of me just just having a great time. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. I think that was kind of along the lines of what we were saying, that there's no anthem. There's nothing that's like, wow, this is it. This is cool.
Yeah.
So other than coasting,
That's
you
true.
know what I mean? Because that puts you in a beachy vibe, but that also is not something that you're going to hear on a dance floor unless, a DJ picks it up. That
They send it to some DJs.
yeah, exactly.
The second one was, Dear PodcastNV, cruising was a fun ride, but I definitely felt the Brian-shaped hole in the middle of my heart.
Oh, boy.
Between the Alaska cruise talk, the tunnel's end stories, and all the hair compliments, it's clear he's part of the show's DNA, even when he's not there. When he's somewhere between the glaciers and the gift shops. Really philosophical there. Thank you, Amanda.
Well, I mean, we did miss him.
Yeah, we did.
But he was on a cruise, and we wanted to provide y'all with more content, right?
Yeah, giving out the content, being storytellers.
Yeah, I mean, look, we love doing this. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yes, he wasn't here, but apparently, he has a rebuttal. I guess he listened to the podcast, right, without him, and he wants to have our next episode. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Where he has his own notes of rebuttal or feedback, I guess, his own feedback for us. So we'll, I think our next episode is going to be a blast.
Yes, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So definitely stay tuned because things might get serious.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could be upset. Yeah. He could be happy. I don't know. But we'll find out. And I can't wait, to be honest.
I'll tell you, the first time we saw him since then, we had a band practice, and he came barreling in the house. And the first thing out of his mouth was, I have notes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
So Amanda, I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
We do, right? But who knows? I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
But I can't wait to find out what he says. This is going to be great.
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So tonight we have a very special guest, or actually guests, plural.
All right.
Very, very happy that even though Brian's not here in the room with us, he is still here.
Is he? Where?
Yeah. There you go.
I found him.
Oh, there we go. Wait.
So
music is the future.
So tonight's guests are a Northern Virginia-based band. They have a great stage dynamic, and they're super energetic. They have a great chemistry when they're playing live. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one, the only, Tunnel's End.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, boys.
Let's start things off by going around the room and introducing ourselves. Your name and what instrument you play.
And what's your favorite color?
Yeah, that works
Dan,
too.
we'll start with you.
Yeah, we'll start with Dan.
Drummer, black.
Nice.
That's incorrect.
I like black.
He's actually a Dalmatian. He only sees in black and white.
I'm Gary, stage right guitar.
I love it.
We'll call it stage right guitar and vocals.
I'm Danton. I play bass.
Boss.
He's slapping the
bass. We got Jordan visiting family in PA.
I do the middle singing on the other side of the singer, and I do the other playing that Gary doesn't play.
Complementary guitars.
Yeah. How did we come up with the name Tunnel's End?
Yeah, this is a great question. So this started out way back when, 8 years ago, with the original lead singer who was in this band came up with the name. I got to give him credit. Rich, he came up with it, and what it really came down to was, all of us are at a, certain age or a certain point in our lives where we were trying to get back to playing music and being a full-time musician. So for us, that quote unquote light at the end of the tunnel was the music. And so for each person, that journey getting back to the light at the end of the tunnel was how we came up with Tunnel's End. So that's what it's about.
Wow. Okay. So Dan, are you an original member?
Yes, sir.
All right. And who else is an original member? That's Dan. It. So Dan, you're the original member. So how did everybody else kind of come in together? I know we talked about it with Brian, how he kind of came in the fold recently, but how about everybody else? How did everybody kind of fit their way into the band?
One of the original bass players, got tired of Dan's shit, and I happened to work with him. I happened to work with him at Dale City Music, which is another topic for discussion. But he would always be complaining about his band and like driving to West Virginia to play to nobody and stuff like that, which I totally get. And at the time he was playing guitar, I guess.
Yes.
He was like, I'm tired of this crap. You want to play guitar for my band? And I was like, sure. He showed me the set list. And then I came and auditioned, and that was that. Yeah. That was summer of 2019.
Okay.
We had another guitar player at the time as well still. And so Gary came in, auditioned, and he did a great job, but left thinking he didn't. And when I went out to the street, I was like, they said, he left thinking he didn't get the gig, and everybody in his ear going, he was great. What are we going to do? And the other guitar player just looked at him like, sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ian was just like, okay, good job, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he left thinking, I didn't get this gig. So I went outside and I'm like, hey, Gary, where are you going? You got the gig.
Nice.
He's all like,
really? After 3 hours of conversation outside, he asked me if I wanted the gig, and I said initially, "Can I think about it?" Because it was like jumping headfirst into like a serious, not full-time band, but I was a little reluctant.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let me leave until I said yes. So that's pretty much
how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Persistence. Now,
and he's been here for 7 years.
Yeah.
The whole time.
No, we can't escape.
Somehow.
Yeah, it'll be 7 years, Gary.
Well, and then Jordan, actually, you came in. Your first gig with us was?
Gary's right. It was a very quick overlap between us, because if he hadn't accepted it, I would have been literally the next person Jake suggested, because I was also always hanging out at Dale City Music because it was right down from where I lived. I wasn't even teaching there yet. So in that time, Gary had auditioned, and me and another friend of ours, Matt Green, had gotten referred as fill-ins in the interim while Gary got up to speed on the whole set list. And in August of 2019, I filled in for Tunnel's End at Lighthorse for my first gig. And I'll let Dan tell his favorite parts of that later. But
on video.
Yeah, we got video.
Oh yeah, it's on video. I forget it's on video. But we were at Lighthorse back with, rest in peace, Bob Brock running it, and it was fun. That was really my first time. And that rehearsal beforehand, I showed up not knowing what "have you learned the songs" meant, and I was getting the looks Gary thought he was getting from Ian.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't auditioning at the time. Then when Gary fully joined about 5 months later, this was Black Friday, also at the Lighthorse, they were like, Gary already had a trip planned. He was going out of town, so they needed another fill-in. And so I did the same thing, and much more prepared this time because I already pretty much knew the songs.
Yeah.
And after that, Dan asked me, if similar fashion, if I wanted to be in the band, or he wanted not, it was actually more he wanted me in the band and he wanted me on bass because he wanted to get rid of the guy who was playing bass at the time, which was, that wasn't Jake, but who was our bassist for the last like 5 years before Denton. And after that one, I didn't get in. There was another opportunity that I told him, I was like, between these two, if this happens, I'm going to Philadelphia. And that didn't happen. So I ended up joining Tunnel's End, and then COVID hit. And actually, I think about that time, I'll fill in the rest of the gap for a bit. That was the 5-year plan. Like COVID hit, we started, not even really a plan at the time. We just started playing whoever would allow us to play, me, Gary, Dan, Ian, and Jake. And, well, not even Jake at first. For the first 6 months, I was on bass and singing. Mm-hmm. And we were like, well, we can maximize a lot more if we got an individual bassist. And we kind of asked Jake back as temporary. And then when he approached us one day about like, oh, do you guys ever work out like a permanent bassist? We were like, what permanent bassist?
You're it. You're it. So he was there for 5 more years.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'm like, why ruin a perfectly good thing?
But then eventually, as Ian as his life got there and we got too busy for his schedule, he left and I took over guitar, and I was still singing, but we were trying to find a replacement singer for probably 2 years. And 2 years ago, we tried a few other people, and it didn't work out, and we mutually parted ways. We auditioned a bunch of people that didn't even make it past, like, show up for a set and sing for us, see how it goes. So we were a 4-piece for a little bit, and Denton joined at the beginning of last year, a February thing. So that's where I'll let him take over.
How did you guys find him? Was this at the grocery store?
Denton, tell him how we found you.
No, we met at Mickey's place. It was a high school friend of mine, and just a mutual friend, and kind of started a little band together.
That was like 2018.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Okay.
I was at like Epicure. And
Epicure.
Yeah,
I remember our first set. It did not go great. But we recorded like a demo that we still have around, and we parted ways. I kind of did my own thing, and then Jordan kind of asked me back through Bandmates, come back through.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, did you have each other? I'm learning some of this for the first time too.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, I found you on Bandmates, and then when you answered, I asked Jordan about you, and Jordan's like, "I know him."
Oh.
And it was like, "Yes, bring him in." So it was like, it just happened to be like it must be, ordained.
Just fate.
Yeah.
Jordan had asked me once before, and I declined. But I came around with him.
He wants to scream more.
Yeah.
We're trying to find him parts.
I met Jordan through a couple of mutual friends that mentioned that they knew of him playing. I didn't know that he was in a band, actually. The people that I talked to knew of him as a solo acoustic artist. He played at Sinistral. He played in a few other places. And that's when I was kind of ramping up stuff with Red Media, where I was booking a bunch of solo acoustic artists in a bunch of different places, and started up the acoustic series that we were doing at Hyde, and this was last year. Got him in for one of those sessions, and he mentioned that he was in a band and looking for a new lead singer, and I asked if I could look at a set list, and showed it to me, and I was like, I feel like I know half of these songs at least, just from listening on the radio. And he was like, well, our drummer's next door at the Renegade doing sound over there. Do you want to go meet him? And I was like, all right. So we ran over there, and so that's when I met Dan, and we were just talking about all kinds of random stuff. And
nice.
Got me in for an audition a couple months later, and that was kind of it. The rest is history. That was I think it was around September, but I don't think we really got into it until like November of last year.
This is PodcastNV.
So what genre of music influences you the most? Brian, we'll start with you.
What do we listen to?
What do you play, like in your free time? Yeah.
It's kind of funny. We each have different styles of music that we listen to, every single one of us.
Yeah.
So the fact that our set list exists the way it does is kind of marvelous and strange and fun.
Yeah.
because you guys know me, I guess I feel like we've talked about this before, maybe on previous conversations on the podcast. But I grew up on like Motown and also Sublime, kind of all over the place, some rock. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that we do is pretty diverse too, R&B, country, and whatever is radio NV. Or it's Brian and Bacon, and then even the solo acoustic stuff. But the stuff that I listen to, honestly, I don't really listen to a lot of more modern music. I really stick to kind of the roots of stuff that I've always listened to.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how it works, right? You just kind of get sick of whatever's being pushed on the radio, and you're like, this sucks. I'm listening to this stuff that's good. But yeah, I don't know who wants to take next.
Denton.
There we go.
Okay. I mostly listen to like heavier music. That's kind of what I'm more inspired by, but
Okay.
I'll listen to pretty much.
Denton, define heavier.
I know. Yes, more
heavier. More like lately I've been getting into bands like Knock Loose as a more mainstream type of band, or like Turnstile. Like Turnstile was a little bit like a few years ago, but I try to keep my ear down for like heavier types of music.
Yeah.
Anything that's more interesting from anywhere, really.
Gary?
Man.
That.
Besides Rush?
Yeah. I love Rush, actually.
I was going to say, Denton plays the intro to Sweet Emotion harder than anybody I've ever heard play that intro.
Really?
No.
But he actually
plays it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
You're not going to get like my whole musical journey, but I'm weird. I started off listening to like Michael Jackson and kind of Motownish stuff, and then I had like a heavy metal phase. I got into Metallica and like Metal Church and Motorhead and a bunch of Megadeth, a bunch of that stuff pretty early on, and then I kind of graduated to classic rock. And that definitely influences my playing, but like a lot of it comes from when I went to music school here in like Rush. Like I had heard of Rush before, but kind of diagnosing everything that was going on in like a Rush song, for instance, there was a lot going on, right? More progressive stuff. So just kind of opened my mind to a lot of different ideas, and going through like a jazz heavy curriculum there at AIM was just kind of eye-opening, I guess. And then kind of revisiting a lot of the classic stuff and really understanding what's going on.
So like for me, growing up, it was all about the drummer, actually, because my instructors and everybody were like focused on trying to emulate style, understand the way that the technique they were using, stuff like that. So guys like Jeff Porcaro from Toto, or Steve Gadd with Paul Simon, or Vinnie Colaiuta playing with Jeff Beck and playing with Sting, and all the people he was playing with, and just following, obviously Neil Peart and all the different drummers out there. You kind of follow them, but from what I like to listen to is like, I was a big time Queensryche fan. I loved Rush. I loved Kiss. I loved Aerosmith. So, all of them brought great joy to my life. But, it's like I focused more on the groove side of things and not so much becoming this, how great a solo can you write? It was more about how well do you keep a band, steady and solid, and, they can count on you to be a metronome. So that was kind of how I was raised as a performer. What are you influenced by there, Jordy?
No, yeah. As far as music goes, when we joined Tunnel's End, one of the first questions Dan asked me was, "You're the age group that's in the bar. What are your people listening to?" And I think a very big part of it was pop punk and emo. That was a lot of my like middle school years. Yeah. That was honestly the first music I got into, was like 90s, 2000s alternative. Yep. Mom was playing 80s CDs in the car. And I know for a fact I listened to the most country out of the group. Not that I listened to it a ton, but I'm not ashamed to say I listened to country, especially Southern rock and 90s country. Yeah. But especially in high school, I got into instrumental rock, Satriani, Andy Timmons, little Steve Vai, some of the main guys who were like big guitarists in college. It was a Christian college, so there was some praise and worship involved. But then when I got down here, it was more so I exhausted everything I was naturally into. What do I get into? And I delve a little bit into EDM now and neo soul. If it crosses my algorithm, I'll probably listen to it. But even recently, like it's been definitely seasons of listening. Like right now, I'm in a heavier season with more of, like Denton said, Knocked Loose, some Turnstile. I really love Gojira, and I love like Architects. I think a lot of these bands have a really great sound, and the heavy that like we called heavy and was thrash. It's like, how did they get this raucousness to diversify and actually like take on its own identity? So, and plus just the raw letting all that energy out. And you see that on the stage when you see us. It's like, even if we're doing a ballad, I very well might have like a metal song in my head right now.
Yeah.
Putting it out.
So what are your practice sessions like? I see behind you, a nice little setup. You guys get together like once a week? What's a typical practice session like?
So we started getting into it once a week. I'll say that, but there was a period for about 3 years where we didn't rehearse more than maybe twice a year because we were just gigging so much.
Yeah.
And in that, like that one rehearsal ended up just having to be the new songs, because all the old songs, so we were able to swap some stuff in real quick. COVID gave us a lot of time.
Yeah.
The actual practice sessions themselves have recently taken on to just figuring out how everybody communicates, what everybody's meaning, what is everyone's ability. Like when they say something's perfect or not perfect, what is their sense of it? So we're all on the same page for sure. But as far as mechanically, we don't use amps or anything. And I think that makes it streamlines a lot. That Dan invested in that years ago, because now we can practice till all hours of the night. We don't have to worry about his wife coming down and being like, "Oh, turn everything off."
Yeah.
No, it's a great space. I mean, if you can tell just from what you can see, everything's mic'd up. We put headphones on. We can really dial in what we're doing. It's pretty sweet. Dan's done a fantastic job of setting the space up. I was going to make a joke that if you could tell by the lights that we often have entertainment and dancers coming in here.
Yeah.
There's a pole that can go right here.
There's a red
It drops from the ceiling.
Love it.
So practice for 15 minutes and the rest is party.
It could happen.
And then
That's why he soundproofed it.
Right. Well, to answer your question, so basically we have a really good studio. We have a really good opportunity to basically, it's quick, it's fast, it's easy to get in here and start playing. And so everybody knows what their job is. We know what we've asked to have done before we get into the rehearsal space. So this isn't where we practice. This is where we rehearse. So everybody brings their final product to the table. We don't spend a whole lot of time having to figure out how to make things work. So we'll probably run a song maybe 2, 3, 4 times, and then we know it's good for the show on the weekend.
Right.
So so we'll say, hey, the next 5 songs are going to be this. So let's at least get 2 of them in the next week. And then once they're in, then we'll add the next 2. So it's just a continual progression of what we think the next addition to set should be, so that we have options wherever we go to go, you know what, if Jordan calls out, not this one, let's audible to that, we can jump in and do it. Or I don't know how many times now lately since we've been building a repertoire where somebody will go, hey, do you guys know? And it just happened to be a song we replaced or something that wasn't on the set list.
Yeah.
We know it. So we throw it in. They think we're the greatest ever, but it's just songs that we already know. And then they're great musicians. So we've actually done this live because we just goof around in here with it, where somebody will know a song and we'll be like, I think I remember that. Let's just do it and play it. And you wouldn't know that it wasn't rehearsed. It just comes out really well. And
muscle memory.
We've actually incorporated some of the things that we've done in here into our show, either be it like jam sessions, and we said, hey, let's insert those things into the song to make that happen, or we've come up with cool ways to make it more than just a set list of songs somebody's playing. We're trying to build towards shows. This is a production. This is there's fun that's happening on top of, in between, and around this entire medley of music we're doing for the next hour or 2 hours, however long we're playing.
Dan, I want to actually ask you a follow-up question about the comment you made about rehearsal versus practice. And I'm curious, is that something that you picked up along the way, or is that kind of the way it's always been for Tunnel's End?
2 of these guys will remember this. The rest weren't in the band at the time, but we had a few people that would just show up and nonchalant. And one of the predecessor guitar players, Ian, he was a pretty serious cat, and this guy practiced, I think, in his sleep, because
Ian, I'll chime in real quick with Ian. Ian was so efficient with his playing that regardless of what you thought about any of like whatever came out that day, you'd see him hit 1 or 2 switches per song, and he's changing a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
He would dial everything in. He would have his presets done out. And believe me, I've been on the receiving end of some of those. You should freaking know this looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, so Ian came in one day, and I'll never forget. He looked at it and he was all like, "Are you guys serious? Are you wasting my time? I drive 45 minutes to get up here. Don't waste my MF and time if you're not going to be ready to play. This is not what I signed up for." And so at that point, everybody was like, woof.
Yeah.
And so it sent the gauntlet, and I didn't disagree. Nobody disagreed. We're like, no, you're right. And so from that point on, everybody took it seriously that you owe it to yourself, but even more so, you owe it to the next guy that's giving you his time to be prepared, be there, and bring your best every single time. And if you don't, why are you here? Maybe we're not the right band for you, because that's our mentality. But we've also figured out on top of that pressure how to have a great time. Everybody has fun. There's also fights. There's also arguments. There's also, hey, go kiss. The only one that doesn't fight is Denton. He just he doesn't.
Nobody yells at my band but us.
I saw that, Denton.
Yeah.
He needs help.
What is the signal?
The help.
He needs help.
Den'll just hit you with a random pig squeal.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like we have a lot of fun, and I think the chemistry is important. That we went through a lot of players, and Jordan hit on it. We went through 2 or 3 people. Wasn't that a couple of them couldn't do the job? They're just the wrong chemistry. They didn't fit in. They didn't make the band better.
Yeah.
That's why, bringing it back to this current situation with Brian here, you walked in and we immediately knew what we had based on how it blended immediately, and the chemistry just fit really well. And over the next few rehearsals and another month of being around him, it's still blended. It still got better. So I think it was, although everybody said, yeah, I'm in, I think it was over a period of months that it took everybody to say, I'm comfortable with him, and for him to say, yeah, I kind of want to do this now because I'm liking it more and more as I go. It's got to be as much fun as it is work, because it's a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
These guys, they really made it easy. I mean, just in the sense of coming into a new situation, they were already established and not knowing what to expect. Because I've auditioned for other bands before that I wasn't accepted into. And so to walk in here and to hear how they were already working together, and I was like, okay, so all I have to do is meet them at that top level.
Yeah.
And they were great. Got rid of the pad, started memorizing everything, and just kept pushing myself to different limits that I haven't really tried before.
As soon as he got rid of the pad, I knew.
Yeah, I was going to ask if Brian practices his dance moves in rehearsal, because I saw them up on stage and it was pretty impressive. I didn't know if he had rehearsed that with you guys beforehand or not.
We don't call him Brian Shaking Ass Johnson for nothing.
Boy, we got more nicknames for him,
I like
huh?
it.
Look at that.
I like it.
So what's the pre and post show kind of routine for you guys?
Yeah.
Don't ask me about pre-show. I'm never there.
Jordan shows up right after sound check.
We take a lottery to see if Jordan will make it.
Okay.
And then we put down the bets, over under on minutes.
If all of them lose, I get the pot.
Oh, there you go.
I think Denton's ahead right now on betting. No, it's just it's changed over the years. I've heard, being a guy who books bands and works with bands and all this other stuff, it's interesting the dynamic that changes from band to band. The one thing I love about Tunnel's End is everybody comes in, they help. Everybody knows, got a job on the stage. They know what they're setting up. We've all kind of divvied up what we feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. So setting up the stage, everybody does. It's not one guy trying to set up the stage while everybody stands around and looks at them. Everybody helps packing, putting stuff away. And that way we have time to kind of chill before we all got to go up there and do our thing.
Yeah.
And then when we walk on stage, it's all, I think the first thing, we go up there and it's like, hey, good luck. Everybody high fives. Everybody's, let's kick this. Yeah, let's do sports. There's a lot of camaraderie that goes on before the show. And then during the show, it's intense. We bring a lot of intensity and energy.
Yeah.
And at the end, if we're not looking like we're worn out, somebody didn't do their job.
If you're not dead Jordan often is the first to just lay on the stage and kind of take a nap. You're not dead at the end of the show. You didn't do your job.
Yeah, it's like
taking many a nap on a stage. Probably some I shouldn't have. I probably got Hep B or something.
Wash the back of your head before you
So-
go to sleep.
How's that get up?
so.
Put my
post
floor
shows-
laying cap on.
Post show's just been trying to get back up and have enough energy left to pack this stuff up.
Yeah.
But it's everybody. It's all
Especially in the
one.
heat. The last couple shows, holy shnikes. Dude, we played at Renegade, and even with the fans on and whatever bullshit AC was going on in there, we were just sweating our asses off.
Yeah, I noticed at Crossroads, Brian went through a shirt just in the first set alone.
Yeah, he did.
I started bringing multiple shirts now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different hats too.
It's honestly, I view it as a rite of passage of a lead singer. If you're doing 3 hours of a show and you're moving around, you should at least go through one T-shirt.
Yeah. Agreed.
What is that next step you guys want to take?
Not to give too much away, but just more complex production.
Yeah.
I think to take it to another level where you feel like you've walked out of a Metallica show, for instance. Like but each venue is a little bit different too, which complicates that. And you're not quite sure, exactly what the setup is or how that's going to go. But I think the plan for this year, for the rest of this year, is to kind of take that into account and turn that into a 2027 goal to make that more of a kind of a streamlined setup.
Yeah.
We've talked about quartering or having our sets, for a 3-hour gig, having 6 options to kind of interchange some things around, doing more stuff visually.
thematically. And
Or
It's
Like, for example, when we played at Fager's a few years ago, one of the first lessons we had in, one venue is not a monolith. You might get 3 different crowds through there in 3 hours.
Yeah.
You might get the early dinner crowd. It could be older people with their kids. You can't play Killing in the Name at 9:30 p.m. when they're eating dinner.
True.
So, but then we learned, okay, if we organize it in certain groups, so we can take a whole group of songs that's like maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and swap it with another group that's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or even just one song if it's just one out of place. Some venues we show up and it's like we're ready for classic rock, and they're so happy that we're playing punk and emo, and it's like, you're not the face of punk and emo. How do you? Everybody listens to all kinds of music, and I think as a band, you heard all our diverse tastes. In eras and stuff, that really plays into how receptive we can be when people come up and talk to us, or we gauge and we get there. We're not just watching our stuff to get out. We're scoping the whole venue. Where are we going to run around? Is there a dance floor? Hope there's a dance floor.
Mm-hmm. So a question about how you approach your set lists and covers. Is it your goal or aim to play them meticulously, or do you have a specific twist or spin you put on some songs? How do you approach doing the cover?
Well, I guess recently I've been directing a lot of like the overall set list in terms of like I created a document, a spreadsheet to help add up the times, and that's made it a little clearer, like, where we might be wasting time in that. So as far as crafting the set list, Brian's obviously getting more and more input as he gets more comfortable in leading, because the front man's got to feel comfortable. So it's been nice to roll into that and get him in a zone where he can just kind of, do the thing, and it's not even on his brain, because there's so much else going on. We're trying to encourage interactions. We're trying to get interactive during songs, like all the small things. When we get to that little like break and it gets really low and we're doing stuff, most of the time I'll just get on the ground, and we started that a few years ago, and like goofing around, and people get into it sometimes, but we work up other jams in between songs, and we're adding medleys and stuff. So I guess a big focus on how we're crafting the set list is what stuff goes together, maybe not necessarily genre, but energy wise. Yep. Does it carry the same impact? Like we have a medley of 90s songs in drop D, Everlong into Black Hole Sun into Heart-Shaped Box. Yeah. And you wouldn't think they go together. And it was a little bit of a like technical rub I remember for Gary just a little bit, because the last chord of one of the medleys we had to change a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's just one of the things that it was like we put the song in the production and what it's going to do for our audience and for the impact it's going to have. That always in our cover band, and what eventually hopefully gets beyond cover band, that will always take precedence over, oh, did we play the exact right hi-hat part, or did I hit this riff exactly right? Like, nobody's going to notice that level of detail except the musicians.
Right.
And the casual listener just wants to be moved. So in that, all the songs that we choose, even if the audience likes them, like, not to diss Creep, but we'll always shift Creep out of our set list because it's the one that we don't feel matches what's there yet. I will shout out in terms of meticulousness. Denton is the least meticulous in learning the actual part, because he plays a lot of parts that are better. And Dan is the most meticulous in learning the part, and has actually gotten a fair number of compliments over the entire time that I've been in the band.
Yeah. When
people come up, and even when I was singing or just trying to facilitate, crowd, like whatever, and they'd shout out the drummer, it's always like, oh, wow, your drummer really, really hit all the breaks. And now that I know a little bit more about drumming than I did back then, I'll hear it. And I'm like, thank God I have a drummer who doesn't change the song.
Yeah.
And if he does, it's like a way that makes sense, or it's a cool fill. And most of the time, especially, we'll look back at him when he makes a mistake and give him the ooh. But there are also a lot of times recently, especially where we'll hear something that we haven't heard from him before, and we're like, you old dog, you learning new tricks.
Yeah.
I will say personally, and I think it kind of reflects with the rest of the band, is we'll take songs like Jordan mentioned, Creep and like Blink 182, that are really simple, and really make them our own, kind of dance around, some of the grooves or the chords a little bit.
Cut out the big long part of Iris.
Yeah, but then there's stuff where it's a little more technical, or songs that have like a signature part, whether it's drums or guitar or bass or, whatever. I feel like we do most of the vocals, right?
Yeah. No.
We probably overkill on vocals, but the songs that demand like kind of a signature style or part, we do those more to the T than the simpler songs. I feel like that's kind of the theme.
Yeah.
Where we can have a little more fun with with some stuff, and then really nail the parts that are supposed to be difficult, I guess.
Like Black or White, Denton and Gary, at the point right before it goes into the rap, Denton and Gary both came into rehearsal with that synth part in triplets or in sextuplets or whatever it is, already kind of like 90% worked out. And it took them 3 or 4 minutes to hash out something they could do together. And then Brian knew the Michael Jackson stuff. My part is actually so easy on that song. I think I have the easiest part of that whole song.
Yeah.
And so I got to sit back in rehearsal and just watch. And I'm like, we all just said, we're going to learn Michael Jackson's Black or White. We're all going to come together. And I don't know if Denton and Gary talked about doing it, but Denton naturally, if he hears a technical part, will write his own bass part and take note of it at some point so he can do something funky later. And Gary, I don't know where his fingers are going, but they're clear and they mash with Denton's. Yeah. They mesh with Denton's really well. And so when I came in on the rap part for Black or White, it was like, oh my God, that was the track.
It's already all right there for you.
Dan and I did what we usually do, which is, show up first, ask questions later. Pretty much. We played what we were going to play, and then afterwards we're like, does this work? Oh yeah, it works. Okay, fine. Let's just keep doing that. Yeah.
But as far as song choices, like, we're always rearranging the set list. After a gig, when we get together for a rehearsal, we talk about kind of what worked, what didn't, what people responded to, and we'll move things around so that it makes sense. There are songs that we picked up where we went, from one song to the next, and then we decided to drop the first song and just go straight into the other song. We've done that a few times. We dropped Peter Gabriel. We dropped, I don't know the name of the band, but the World I Love. We dropped that one.
Collective Soul. World I Know.
I think to your point, too many bands get married to the music, whereas we're married to the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care what song we have to dump to bring in something better to get the reaction we're looking for. We're only worried about the reaction we're getting. And as the shows continue to get better and better, and we keep getting, the big thing is when we get phone calls immediately after going, we need to rebook these guys. These guys are great. We need this. That tells me we're starting to hit the right reaction. We don't care what music the song is per se. We do in a sense, but if it needs to go, it needs to go. We're not going to get married to it and go, that's my favorite song. Yeah. I want to play that song. Well, then you join a different band.
Your solo gig.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
So if you go to tunnelsendband.com, the bios that you guys have on there are hilarious. So I have to know who came up with the bios, who put those together, because definite hats off.
All of us individually.
Yeah. I asked to come up with something fun, something a little comical. So they all came up with a kind of a serious piece, but then added their comical edge to it. And then Jordy and I kind of just sat down and made sure it was grammatically correct. And then, but everybody did their own. I don't think we didn't make anything up. There's a little bit of everybody in it.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, the Guitar Hero thing on mine is 100% true.
I was going to ask about that.
I'm in Lehigh County literally right now, but I just came back from Schuylkill County seeing people yesterday. Yes, the home of Yingling Lager. You're welcome. What was it? Guitar Hero was my big push to. I got too good at it for just playing in my room all the time. I was playing songs on Expert. Sometimes with my eyes closed. And, I do think it influenced the way I play a lot, because a lot of my playing is very linear. And it took me a lot of years to get okay with like going through arpeggios and sweeping, like you'll see Gary do all the time. It's literally not what I even wanted to do with guitar. The first song I took off there was Paranoid by Black Sabbath, because the whole thing got too easy. And then the guitar was not easy at all.
We have a little game here that we call Same Name.
Since you have the same name as something else insane, we're gonna ask you 3 times. Do you know or deny that you have the same name? And now we'll play the game.
So your band's name is Tunnels End. So we're going to ask you questions about one of the most famous tunnel projects, the Big Dig. All right, so here we go. Question number 1. As part of the Big Dig project, they had to excavate a ridiculous amount of dirt. The official stats translate into one big weird comparison. According to Massachusetts' own numbers, from the dirt from the Big Dig could fill a stadium how many times? Is it A, once to fill the stadium once and then half fill the parking lot? B, enough dirt to fill a stadium to the rim 16 times? Or C, enough dirt to build a brand new, slightly smaller Boston on top of the old one?
B.
That's correct. The answer is B.
Yeah!
Question number 2. Massachusetts actually calculated what would happen if you lined up every truck you used to haul Big Dig dirt bumper to bumper. How many trucks and how far would it reach? Is it A, just beyond the New Hampshire border, where the trucks immediately refuse to pay the tolls? Is it B, all the way to the Brazil, as far as the crow flies, or to the Panama Canal over land? Or C, around the city of Boston twice, then straight to a Dunkin' drive-thru?
I'm going to go with Brazil.
D.
Is that B? B is the correct answer. That translates into 541,000 truckloads of dirt.
Jesus.
Okay, last one. Question number 3. Massachusetts says the concrete used on the Big Dig would be enough to build what kind of hypothetical concrete object? Is it A, a 3-foot wide sidewalk 4 inches thick from Boston to San Francisco and back 3 times? B, a concrete walkway from Boston to the city of Los Angeles? Or C, a 2-lane road across the Atlantic?
8 hours.
C.
What was A?
I'm gonna go C.
What was A again?
A was a 3-foot wide sidewalk, 4 inches thick from Boston to San Francisco and back 3 times.
I'm going with that one. I'm going with that one.
The answer is A.
Oh.
A 3-foot wide sidewalk, 4 inches thick. Congratulations, you just played same name. And you got 2 out of 3.
That's right. Congratulations.
Well done.
Is it time for this or that?
Yeah, we can do this or that.
All right, Brian, do you want to explain to the boys what this or that is?
Wow. So I'm on the receiving end. This is exciting.
Yeah. We took your bit.
Boys, is an A or B answer. There is no C. There is no midway. You have to choose one or the other.
Right.
It's this or that.
This or that. I love these.
This or that. Here we go. So, first question. Last week, we had like a heat dome over us. Do you remember? I mean, it was super hot. So my question is, no AC or no heat? Brian?
I'm going to go no heat. Because I think I can bury myself in blankets on a couch. But if there's no AC, like I'm still laying on the floor, sweating my ass off naked. Sucks.
Can I come over?
He had me at naked.
He had me at hello.
Right.
What about you, Dan?
I'm definitely going with no heat. I can't deal without my AC, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Gary?
Yeah, being an upstate New Yorker, man, I'm good with the cold. What can I say?
Okay.
No,
Denton?
no heat.
Okay. Jordan?
I'm gonna go with no heat as well for a similar reason as Brian. You can always add more blankets. You can't get more naked.
All right. Next question. The big sporting event going on right now is the World Cup, right? Everybody's into it. Everybody's watching it.
Really?
Well, a lot of people are. Okay. So my question is football or football? The World Cup or the NFL? Brian?
Well, World Cup or
NFL. No, just the NFL.
Wisely.
World Cup or the NFL?
He's going to choose
It could
sports.
be anything involving the NFL.
I feel like I'm going to get my ass beat. I love America.
No sarcasm.
Is that the right answer?
So it's just World Cup or NFL?
I'm pissed that USA's out, so fuck it. NFL.
Okay. Dan? I think that's a World Cup hat you got on, right?
I mean, I went to the game in Dallas between England and Croatia.
Oh, nice.
So I took my daughter down to see that game. Oh, he's wrong. But yeah, see, but yeah. However, NFL all day long. Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't want to hear about your Philadelphia Eagles, Jordy.
Oh, go Birds!
All right, so Dan's rocking the FIFA hat. I got to align with Dan on that one.
Okay. Yeah. Look at that.
Boom.
This was not planned.
No, it wasn't.
You see the logo.
We represent all, so.
Okay. Then?
I couldn't care less. So I just
He's like, sports.
Football.
He says football.
One of the requirements for Tunnel's End base is you can't like sports.
That's true.
That's right.
Oh my
Jake
God.
hated sports.
That's so true.
So Denton hates sports. So he wouldn't know which one is which anyway.
The question
I
is,
like sports. I wasn't based very long.
Yeah.
What about you, Jordan?
Go Birds. I like soccer. I like football. But I definitely lean more NFL. And as a Pennsylvania boy, Eastern PA, there's something nice about green and white and an organization that does so much, might I remind you, for child autism.
All right. Next question. Gas prices are through the roof. They have been, right? Mm-hmm. So my question to you is for your car, gas or electric, Brian?
I'm so tired of seeing these Teslas on the road.
Nice hat.
We're sticking with gas. I mean, there's so much you can do with it. Electric, it's just I don't know. Doesn't do it for
I
me.
guess if you don't want to play a gig longer than 120 miles from here, you know,
Exactly.
you're going
True.
gas.
Yep. Yeah.
Gas all day long.
That's why he
Okay.
asked us to bring the speakers or not.
Right. Do I have to bring the speakers because my car's only going to make it about 150 miles? Gotta get a brake charge.
What about you, Gary?
What's the electric?
Yeah, no, I drive a manual, like a 5-speed, so that makes it easy.
Nice.
We need
It
to make
doesn't
it
have
electric.
any doors, but it's
The windshield wipers may or may not work.
He actually drives a U.S. Postal Service truck.
I would take that over a space dumpster. And my last remark is I know I've done a good job at parenting when my kids point out space dumpster alert.
Yeah.
We're driving around, Dad, space dumpster.
Yeah, look at that.
yeah. Don't lean too far; you might fall out.
What about you, Denton?
I just say gas.
Love it.
I never had electric, so.
Okay. Jordan?
Despite our love-hate relationship with how often I run out of gas, yeah, gas.
Next question. Sirius XM or a music app?
Yeah, I'm gonna say music app. I do Sirius XM for the free trial, but that's it.
Right.
Okay.
Same.
You're that expired guy. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
You get that random email. It's like, your Sirius expired. I had Sirius?
What? I've never been serious my whole life.
Hey.
Dude.
Who is this?
What about you, Dan?
I've got to stick with Spotify.
Okay.
That's my app.
Okay. Gary?
I mean, you know, I pay like the $13 a month for YouTube Premium.
Yes. So worth it.
I gotta go.
All right.
Audio, video, it's great.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Okay. Denton?
I still have my my Spotify playlist from like high school. So yeah, Spotify.
He's still got Morpheus on his phone.
Napster.
How did you know that?
LimeWire.
LimeWire. Yes, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what?
perfect.
I think on my phone too, personally.
What about you, Jordan?
Anomaly.
Currently use Spotify. And when I learned about it, I totally would have invested in Napster.
Right.
Okay.
But then they got sued.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lars.
All right, last question. So I read on Brian's bio, it says, Brian brings an unmatched energy to the stage that some have said mirrors the feeling of being delivered the freshest pizza in under 30 minutes. So my question is, other than, is he really Rock Jesus? My question is, pizza or tacos?
That is a tough one. Who's making the tacos? I have questions. Who's making the pizza?
Soft or hard?
White people taco night.
Is it old El Paso?
If I'm on death row,
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go pizza.
Okay. Dan?
Yeah, they're a hell of a lot bigger. I mean, who brings the? I mean, you know, frick. I had 2 tacos the other day, and they're like,
It's 3
But you have to have
tacos.
a
gotta go with the
Oh, man.
pizza.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like Dan, as a person who has been to Mexico and has been to Italy,
Mhm.
still got to go pizza, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because you can get great tacos here, but like the pizza in Italy
Italy's
is next level.
ridiculous.
It's next level. You would,
Yeah.
All right, Denton.
Could I combine the two? Because I remember Denny's had like a really good taco pizza.
Okay. All right.
There is a Mexican pizza.
There
at
is a
Taco
Mexican
Bell.
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I do pizza.
Well, what about you, Jordan?
I agree with them. I agree with what was said earlier. Well, who's making the tacos? Who's making the pizza? That definitely shifts the equation because living in Woodbridge the last couple of years, you meet some great tacos.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go with Brian's logic. We're talking like the last meal. I'm taking a really good slice of pizza.
Okay. Thanks for playing this or that. So is there any upcoming shows that you boys want to plug?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if anybody wants to see the full schedule, tunnelsendband.com has it. It's literally just Google Tunnels End. That's it. We are the first thing that pops up. You can see where we're playing. We play just about every weekend, if not every other weekend. And this is kind of our first year with me now in the band, kind of getting, you know, ourselves into some new spaces, some spaces that we were years past and now getting back into. And some other new opportunities. So yeah, it's only going to get denser on the calendar.
Starting to hit Richmond pretty hard right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're starting to travel a little bit more like we used to. And
Nice.
That's when it gets exciting, when you're playing a new place every other week, or at least one new place a month, and you're not just repeating all the same ones for a couple new ones every year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So other than tunnelsendband.com, how can people get to see you and get a hold of you?
Tunnels End Music on Instagram.
Okay.
And TikTok.
And Dan's phone number is
tunnelsendband@gmail.com.
Do you boys have any swag yet? Are we doing any t-shirts, hats, stickers? What are we doing?
Y'all missed it. We do. We have hats. We
Oh,
have
nice.
T-shirts. At our last show, we actually gave away about half a dozen T-shirts to the crowd.
Nice.
It was funny. People stepped away in between the second and third set, came back wearing the T-shirts. I was like, yes.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. So if people want to get swag, it's just coming to the show, or do you guys have an online shop?
Yeah, come to the show. That's the easiest way to get it. We usually just toss it out to the crowd.
Hey guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on. It was really great having you. Great conversation, and you guys are a lot of fun. So let's hang out more.
Love you guys. Miss you guys.
We'll see you soon. So,
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
See you
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Hey Brian, can you give us the usual call to the end from a remote location?
Sing us who?
Podcast Envy is a production of Bacon Wave Productions in cooperation with Revelry Media Productions. Follow us on Instagram at PodcastRNV. Follow us on TikTok at podcast.envy. Follow, like, and subscribe to stay up to date on our latest episodes. Send us your feedback and more at podcastnv.com. A Bacon Wave podcast production.